Hey, I'm Luis.
And I'm Luis.
And you're listening to the Content is Profit podcast.
And we spent the last 4 years learning the strategies and techniques from some of the top marketers in the world on how to create content that turns into profit.
If you'd like to learn more how to turn that content into profit, go to contentsprofit.com. Oh, yeah.
PodMax special today.
Yes.
With guess that is gonna blow your mind. It blew our mind 5 minutes ago. I mean, it's incredible, and we're gonna be talking about a new way of communication. Is it the end of the Zoom era?
Oh,
the power of Holo-Portation.
Yes.
What is that? What is Holo-Portation?
It's so good. Before we dive into this, guys, go ahead and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button so you know when those episodes are dropping on your phone every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays with incredible stories like the one that we're about to share. And make sure to follow us on social media at BIZBROS to get all the nuggets, all the little amazing nuggets of content.
That is right.
So
and
good.
if you find this episode impactful and you believe it's going to impact somebody else's life in a positive way, please, all we ask from you is to share it and leave a 5-star review. Thank you.
Today, another awesome episode. We partnered with PodMax to share the stories of some amazing people that are shaping our future. People that are taking ideas and turning them into reality. These stories are meant to empower you to go and build a brighter future.
Oh yeah, guys. Today's guest, I'm telling you, I hope you're ready with either coffee, something, because he is going to blow your mind.
He might even show up in your living room. Just saying.
He might even show up in your living room. Today's guest, his superpower is to beam anywhere in the world through the power of Holo-Portation. What is Holo-Portation? More on that soon. And guess what? He is also an award-winning writer and producer who founded PORTL, without an A, PORTL, which is absolutely mind-blowing after 20 years in the entertainment industry.
He has hosted 250 celebrity interview podcasts. He did a podcast every Saturday for 5 years.
Wow, that is commitment.
He's one of the OGs, you know. Goals, #goals.
Yep.
He's also working his work was crucial in advancing hologram technology, and he met his wife in episode 9. I think that's a little fun fact in there. FONZI,
yeah.
Can we find your wife?
After he shared that with us, I was like, there is hope out there in the world. Like, maybe if we make more podcast episodes, who knows? Who knows who we're going to find in there, right?
Yeah.
Guys, please welcome the wizard of Holo-Portation, the incredible award-winning writer and producer, or ex-award-winning writer and producer. I think he still is.
I think he still has the awards.
Yeah, and founder of PORTL. Please welcome David Nussbaum. David, I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Yep, you did, and that's the most important part.
Yeah, crushed it, FONZI.
Getting the guest name right is the number one thing.
Was that your secret to meeting your wife? Did you pronounce her name correctly in the first episode?
I did. I was a fan of my now wife's, so it was easy for me to pronounce her name right.
That's awesome. David, I mean, for those listening right now, we actually had to redo the intro because I was so nervous that I messed up on the very first try, because I feel like this is an episode unlike any other that we've ever done. This is a topic that, honestly, we didn't even know it existed that much. Like, the only holographic images that I've seen in my life are the ones in Harry Potter world in Universal, David. Like, those
I actually did that one.
Yep. What? Oh, okay. This just became even better.
Okay, FONZI, go get some fresh air. I think.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Dude, David, again, incredible honor to host you on the show, and obviously there's a lot to talk about here. We definitely want to dive into your company, what you guys are doing to changing the landscape of content creation, live events. Experiences around the world. Like, this is gonna bring a whole new meaning to all this stuff. But I'm very interested to your beginnings on producing shows, on producing content around the world. Right, your entrepreneurial journey. What was that start for you?
So I wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to be Howard Stern when I grew up. So I went. I was living in New Jersey. I went to college and every Sunday I went on and did my radio show, my college radio show. And I just caught the bug. I really wanted to be on the radio. So when like in late 1999, I moved to Los Angeles to secure a job in radio, and I started working for a radio station that broadcasts all the Dodger and Laker games. And so I started working there in sales because it was a Spanish language radio station. I don't speak Spanish. So I really enjoyed the hustle. I enjoyed being around the broadcasters. I liked walking through the station. I liked looking through the glass at the broadcaster. Every word he's saying, I'm watching him talk. And meanwhile, there are, millions of people that are listening to every word he says. I felt really close to the action, and I was just energized by it. So, so between bouncing back and forth between Los Angeles and New York, working for CBS Radio, working for other Spanish and English language radio sports and talk stations, I finally secured some on-air experience. And that's when podcasting became sort of a thing in the early 2000s. And so I started a podcast network. And
wow.
And that was really one of my first entrepreneurial experiences, is kind of breaking away from corporate and starting my own thing. And all of a sudden, now I got to make decisions. Now I got to book the guests that I wanted. I got to, set rates on commercial advertising and all kinds of fun stuff. It was a lot of fun. It was very hard to do. Podcasting was so brand new. It was, it was definitely an experience. But yeah, that was my first real toe dip into the world of being an entrepreneur.
I love it, dude. I have a question here because, we're in 2021, as in we're recording this today. And there's a lot of people, I feel like podcasting has become like this trend, right? After 20 years of being around. And there's a lot of people diving into this world with some of them very unrealistic expectations from the very beginning, right? And they might expect something. And it is hard work, right? On our production to get it started. I can't even imagine how that was when you started. I'm one of the OGs, right? Probably like in this medium. So what kept you going on publishing? What kept the light on? What kept the fire going to continue to produce this content, interview people? Was there a benefit on the back end? What was happening through through your mind when you first started this network?
Right. Well, for me, it was easy. Though there weren't a whole lot of podcasts out there. So if there was a guest that needed to talk or wanted to talk, there were very few options. So my first guest was a man named Sam Simon, and he was the co-creator of The Simpsons. And
wow,
he's a talking about OG. I mean, he's been there, done that. He was a billionaire that he made all the Simpsons money, and then he's just spent it on human and animal rights. So I reached out to him and I said, let's talk about human and animal rights. Let's talk about your career. And each one of my meetings was not through Zoom or through online. It was, every meeting was in person.
Wow.
And so Sam is no longer with us. He passed away a few years ago, but we did about 7 or 8 podcasts together, and he became a real friend. Getting Sam Simon as my first guest meant everything, because now I could go to any celebrity, any comedy writer, any person, say, Sam Simon was my guest. You're better than Sam Simon, So it was very, at that point, it became easy when you have a guy leading batting leadoff as the as a superstar like him.
Wow. I think that is so important. First, 2 points in there. I mean, developing friendships, using your platform to develop important friendships, right? How many times we hear that you're the average of, the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And I personally believe podcasting or having a platform is one of the most important ways to increase that environment, to develop those new friendships that are going to even help you become a better person. So the fact that you went after the people that, were making a change in the world, that you had real interest in, but it was selfless interest, right? You wanted to share their message with the world, and that turned into a friendship. How incredible is that? And the other thing is leveraging those names to grow your platform. That is exactly the same thing that we managed to do with our podcast, right? We started interviewing a lot of people into the marketing world, and we managed to get an interview with Todd Brown, right? He's an incredible marketer. Guess what? Every single person that we pitched after him, we were like, we've had Todd Brown in the show. And every single person was like, I want to be in a show where Todd Brown has been in, right? So the power of leverage is so incredible. And I think I have a great question that is very biased. Obviously, I'm patting myself on the back right here. But I think my brother wants to say something, so I'm going to keep this question for later. You good?
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead. So,
because we might be diving into, I'm just mind blown with the Holo-Portation thing. So I've noticed that you are a person that you're in front of trends, right? 2000, you're podcasting, right? That is 21 years ago. Wow. Like you said, the industry was very small. Now 2021, and you're working with Holo-Portation, right? You're creating holograms. So you're changing the way of communication. And what comes to mind is what Christopher Loughead, who is another incredible marketer, he calls category design. And he says that most people like to play it safe and create a product that is market fit, right? You need to test it. The market has to say, yes, this works. And then most companies want to take that into the market and sell it. But for a product like holograms, right? I'm thinking, how do people even embrace the idea of holograms? And for me, man, you are an innovator, that you stay in front of trends, and you're what he calls a category designer, because it's like Elon Musk in a sense that he started Tesla, and a lot of people didn't believe in him. But guess what? Now he has built a whole industry around it. And I see that trend in you. Is that a trait that you've had your entire life? Have you developed it? Or how do you go about dealing with those ideas?
Yeah, no, I don't like competition. I'm not good at it. So I just try to separate myself. If there's other, like, I wasn't successful in podcasting. I did 250 episodes, but then as all these podcasts started popping up, guests could go to Joe Rogan's podcast or Mark Maron's podcast. It's like, why would they come to David Nussbaum's podcast? So I'm not good with competition. I need to be in my own category all to myself. So I split when things get too complicated. So I start different things and then I pick up and move. With holograms though, I'm in this for the long haul. This is a category that is I hope to make it as popular as podcasting is right now. The idea of Holo-Portation machines is you shouldn't have to be Tupac or Harry Potter or a wealthy person to become a hologram or to beam somewhere. My goal is to put a hologram on every tabletop or a hologram life-size unit in every conference room or in every museum or in every movie theater lobby.
Yeah.
It's a scalable business, and so it is. That is my desire. I don't know. But to answer your question, I'm not a trend setter. I just happen to.
What a hook! Oh, hold on.
Surround myself with really people that support what I want to do.
Yeah. Oh, we almost lost you there for a second. Like literally when you were like, I am, and like the internet stopped for a little bit.
I think that was on purpose.
But then we managed to hear what you said, David. Wait, sorry, real quick. I want to paint the picture of what you're doing right here because we are from Venezuela. We grew up in Venezuela. Our family is still in Venezuela. So what I'm imagining right now is how cool would it be to have at our house in the living room, right? One of these little machines that can show us our parents, right? Not through a screen, but we could actually see them as a full human being. How impressive would that be? The power of communication. Like, I'm just imagining it and I'm almost like tearing up of how exciting that would be.
Yeah.
And the possibilities across the world for people to have this conversation. Like it would be so much more meaningful. And I also imagine it kind of like Star Wars, right? When they talk to, they communicate across the galaxy and the little holographic image pops out like that. I'm like, how cool would that be? Yeah. So thank you for being not looking to establish yourself in a competitive matter, but how do I separate myself and create something extremely valuable for everyone?
Yeah, for the audience too, like if you are listening to this, please go watch the video, come connect with us. We'll send you, because this is a real thing. It is happening. It is real. And David's background right now is actually showing the product and how it works. This is not a dream, right? It's happening today, and it shows what's possible, right? And David, one point that I really want to highlight. There we are. Oh my God, yeah, incredible. He's just showing us this image of two friends just chatting. It's somebody. It is real. It is real. And I wanna salvage something that you said. I don't like competition. I'm not good at it. I need to be in my own category, right? And the fact that I relate a lot with that, right? Because there might be people out there in the world that don't like competition, and that's perfectly okay, right? And when you dive into the business world, a lot of it is like, well, who are we competing against? Like, who's your competition? And the product here, the product there, what is the problem that we're solving? And I think this is the first time that I hear it so clear from somebody on the other side of the camera that explains it, that, hey, it's okay to feel that way, that I don't really like competition. And it was the first time that I felt identified with that. And that's the way we do the show, how we do it, right? And every single day we have people coming in. It's like, hey, you should do the show this way. You should do the show that way. And we're like, well, did I ask for your opinion? Right? Like that's the first question. And then we do it because it fulfills us, right? And it's a different category of show. We don't call it a podcast. It is published as a podcast, but it's a live show. And then you're taking this to a whole new level. And I'm like, okay, it's okay to do that. So I want the audience to recognize that and look inside of you. And if you feel that way, it's okay to do your own thing consistently over time. Now, was that always your thought process, or do you have to encounter that through an experience? Or how do you actually discover that in you? And then what was your first step on taking action on that new identity, right, that you kind of created? Or do you always feel that way?
No. Some days I like competition. It motivates me when if somebody else enters the market and starts creating holograms and starts creating content, it sometimes motivates me, because you know what? I've been lazy. These guys are stepping it up. Now I need to beat them. So I do. It's a competition, but I'm motivated by, I want to be the best at it, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
I was the first at it, but now someone else is going above me. They've figured out, they've taken everything that I worked so hard to do, and they just got that information because I've worked several years to make it happen. Now all of a sudden they've added to it something maybe I didn't think of, and I go, oh, why didn't I think of that? Now I have to. And so
implement.
It does, competition is a good thing, although sometimes I don't like it,
Yeah.
because sometimes I can get lazy. I say, you know what? I want all the business for myself. I want everything for myself. I want it all to come to me. If somebody wants to do a hologram, they shouldn't even have to Google hologram. They should just know it's me.
Yeah.
But then I can get a little, say, okay, well, if it's all for me, then why do I have to keep pushing the limits?
Yeah.
So when competition happens, it obviously motivates me to make a better machine, make a better product, build it out, build out the industry more.
I love it. What is that element that keeps your drive, right? And because, you're clearly very passionate about what you're doing today, right? Like, if not, I don't think you will be doing it with all the other projects also that you've done along your journey, right? So what's that big why? What's that big push that's keeping you on this track?
Yeah, well, for me, it's my family. I've got little kids at home, and I want them to live in a great world. If I can make a mark on it that will, make it a positive experience for them. Everything I do right now, everything we do right now affects our children. They're 5 and 6 years old right now. So I know I have, my earliest memories were from when I was like 4, 5, 6, 7, and they are amazing memories, and my life is where it is right now because of some of the experiences I had as a kid. So I just try to, motivate my kids, inspire my kids through my own actions, and and also my desire to, I've got employees now, right? So I'm not just a one-man show. I'm not an employee of a company. I'm the CEO. So I've got like dozens of employees. And so now that motivates me because I want to make sure each one of them has jobs for life and security. Yes. And so it's not just about me. It's about my family. It's about my colleagues and employees and their families and their kids. So all I want to do is build out this industry and make it accessible. I want to scale the business so anybody can have portals. But it's all about just building it out and pushing the limits.
I'm curious on how long has it been since you started this company?
Well, I started the company less than 2 years ago.
Less than 2 years ago?
Yeah, this company about 2 years ago. I used to work for a very large hologram entertainment company, which used a hologram technique called Pepper's Ghost. And it's those Pepper's Ghost patents and products and techniques that were used to put that Harry Potter, Universal Studios thing together. But after years of making millions of dollars for other people, I just thought I would rather do that for myself. So so I left, I started PORTL, and when the pandemic hit, I had hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue that got canceled. They were trade shows and conventions that were to take place last summer. Comic-Cons and CES and this and that and all these things, all gone.
Wow.
So so we pivoted and we turned the company around and made it less of a novelty company, like, hey, there's a guy in a box, and more of a communications platform.
Yes.
So we raised a bunch of money through some VC funding, and then we hired a lot of engineers to build out the software and the communication aspect of it.
Yeah. So that's where I wanted to take a little bit this conversation, because of course the pandemic has changed the narrative of communication, right? Between people, companies, everything. You have, offices that are vacant now, people working from home. How have you seen that change in communication, and has that motivated you in a way to keep developing further your product, right? Like, what are your views on human connection? Because I feel this is a step further than obviously Zoom. Like, yes, it's cool to connect with someone like this, but the fact that you can almost have them there physically, I think is a game changer.
I'll tell you, what I say, if you can't be there, beam there. What we don't have right now is I see you from your chest up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't see your nonverbal cues. I can't see your body language. All I see is what you're presenting up here. But when you are in full size, human size, 4K resolution, volumetric projection, there you can't hide anything. It's like you're there. There is an emotional connection. There is a physical connection. There is a science that actually says, when you see a real person standing in front of you, there is an invisible connection. Just can't get through Zoom. There is something there that just doesn't exist unless you are really it. So it changes everything. Educators could beam around the world. Religious leaders and inspirational speakers, CEOs and entertainers. This is the way people ought to be communicating if they can't be there.
Oh man, like I'm just getting the chills because as you were talking, right, I remember an experience that we had last year. We were lucky enough to see Tony Robbins live. Probably one of the last events that he did live before the 4,000 foot studio with all the Zoom screens, right? But that experience to us meant a lot. And I remember crying in the middle of that experience and just seeing the man there driving all that energy. And what I was picturing now as you're telling this can be a game changer, not just this is game changer, not only for those live events, but that connection with the people that you might admire, right? Like you said, educators around the world. Wow, what an incredible experience will be you go to third world countries. Now we come from a third world country, Venezuela, right? And have this educator or this thought leader, right? Sitting down. And again, use the powers for good, can be also used for bad as well, but let's focus on the good. But it's like this person bringing education around the world to different institutions. I mean, the power for nonprofits to be able to communicate and educate in companies or in continents or countries that might not have access to this kind of education and thoughts, right? It's so powerful. So I say thank you, man, like for everybody, and we need it. I'm sure you know this, but we need to get this out, and people need to know more. Obviously, through the conferences, and I don't know if you're in the podcasting circuit already, but I encourage you to go back and show the amazing Zooms, the Zoom stuff, because more people, more creators need this, right? And
I think it removes the friction for high profile people to have to travel to those places when maybe they don't have that time, right? Like these high profile people, they really care where they invest their time. And the journey to some of those places, right, might be costing them a lot of money. So instead, now they can be like, yes, I'll be there at 1 p.m. Now they're, holo-portating them their way over there. They're beaming their way over there, which is incredible. What are some of the reactions on this type of people when you present them with this idea of beaming themselves into some different place?
Disbelief, usually. They don't believe that I can do it. They think it's a trick. I've got a YouTube channel, and I post almost all of our videos, all of our media, all of everything on YouTube. And almost all the comments, all the negative comments are, this is BS, or this is fake. It's really a guy in the box. Don't let this guy fool you. And I take those as compliments. Those negative comments are compliments. They're saying that it looks too real to be real.
Yeah.
And so that is quite the compliment. But then I show them. I've got a showroom in Los Angeles. I put on a mask. We keep a social distance these days. But I show them. I beam them from one side of my showroom all the way to the other. They see that this is real. Yesterday, I beamed from Los Angeles to Barcelona so I could present my ideas in Spain. And it was a great big event that attracted a lot of media attention. And but yes, it is possible, and it is and we're just talking about one aspect. We're just talking about holo-portation, but there's so many more things that hologram. I mean, imagine going into a mall and seeing like hologram products and there's so many different ways. We'll just focus on communications though today, since we are communicating. Where are you guys located right now?
We're in Jacksonville, Florida.
So you're in Florida. I'm in Los Angeles. I mean, this is not the earliest form. I mean, obviously, but this is this is a form of holo-portation in a sense. Like, we're communicating, we're seeing each other. It's like we're together. All PORTL is just another level after that. But maybe one day this is how you're beaming people into your studio.
I would love to do it that way.
It's funny. I mean, in our short journey on podcasting this last year, right? We thought about different ways in the studio, right? We have how we're seeing you right now is a 50 inch TV in front of us, like, and you're literally the side, like real size, right? We're talking to you. So I'm imagining, obviously in this medium, just having the holo-portation machine, right? And we're actually having like a conversation, and obviously that's a very like tight looking thing within the podcasting world, and there's countless applications to this. But what I want to highlight is, we chatting with Alex Sharfin, this amazing business coach, right? He talks about the entrepreneurial mindset. Like we live in the future, we grab that and then we make it happen. And that's exactly what you've done, right? Like you are that step ahead, that visionary, like let's go to the crazy zone idea. What if, right? We saw it. You saw it a reality with the company that you work for. It's like, hey, I have a vision. I'm going to actually make it happen, even though bad things could happen, like the pandemic happening, right? And you're like, let me pivot, right? And now this whole array of possibilities are also, going from there. And you're finding your people, the people that invested in you, the people that believe in you, the people that buy the machines, right? I don't know the back end of the system, but the people that are showing up on YouTube, right? And be like, this is so cool. You're finding those people. So your message, is filtering that audience that is gonna start to believe, right? So I say thank you for doing that. And content is the middle of it. You started in 2000 with podcasting. You started before that with a radio show, and I think this passion is also shows here in the communication aspect of it. Yeah. So encourage everybody that's listening to take that leap. Right, go to the future. What is your crazy zone? Bring it to the present and make it happen. Right?
Yeah, David, I'm curious on how do you market this visionary idea? Right, you talk about challenging people's disbelief by showing them. Yeah. But I'm sure you need to find some creative ways, and maybe you already have, to bring awareness to people about this.
Yeah, I do a lot of media. For some reason, when a hologram shows up somewhere, so do audiences and a lot of attention. So we get a fair amount of media. Last week, I was in Las Vegas, where we delivered the first portal in Las Vegas, and Fox, ABC, CBS, and a bunch of other media sources all came to support it. And so I was on the morning show, and less than a year ago, we started really the media push, and everything from BBC World News to Reuters. Forbes made us one of the top 5 technology companies that are going to disrupt how people do business in 2021. Wow. So we haven't spent a penny on marketing, but I'm a carnival barker. I'm a salesman. Yeah. I just scream portal, 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 and then people listen. Yesterday I beamed to Barcelona, because I want to raise awareness. So that is yeah.
Wow, this is like the meaning of a spreadable idea, right? And this is also the meaning of obsession and believing in what you do, because like you say, you're just like screaming portal, 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 and therefore you're attracting people. And now, we all know the leverage from media, right? Gary Vaynerchuk says it all the time. Now every company needs to be some sort of media company, right? But if you are not a media company, how do we attract the media so they can cover for us, so they can put our ideas out into the world and share our message? And I think one of those key elements is have a shareable idea, something that is definitely from like another world. And I'm so excited to see the development of your idea. Like, I can't believe that this is a company that you started 2 years ago. I can't wait to see where you're going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I'm sure this is just going to get more portable, more accessible for people. So then your dream of having a portal inside of everybody's homes is going to happen. What is your plan? I'm curious on what is your 5 or 10 year plan with the company?
Yeah, well, like any entrepreneur this is a tech startup. So I'd say 5 years from now, it'd be great to ring that New York Stock Exchange bell and take the company public and make all of our investors very rich and make it very accessible to everybody. Down the road, I'd like to see how, if we could remove the box and just create the Obi-Wan Kenobi hologram that we've seen in movies.
Yeah.
Imagine that, a full volumetric illusion of light and magic that materializes before you. Right now, we've got the box, which is the PORTL hologram projection machine. So I'll continue the development of the hardware. We'll talk about the software next time. But yes, I think that the company will grow. It'll be a snowball effect as we start rolling these out all over the world. We have a unit in Venezuela, by the way.
No way! That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Can I ask who? Can I ask who has it?
A very famous person has it, but I can't say who. But it is being used for some pretty incredible things right now. And so we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I don't really like to make predictions.
Yeah, that's amazing. I just want to paint this picture. Like when you were talking, all I was imagining is like imagining you're getting a phone call. You pull your phone out and then you set it horizontally on a table, and all of a sudden, a hologram pops up, and now you're having like a real live conversation in there. How awesome would that be? That would be not only incredible, the feeling, but so much fun too. That would make communication so much fun. I personally, I'm not a big fan of talking on the phone, right? But I love communicating with people face to face. So if that comes out, beware people in my contact list, because I'm going to be calling everyone at every single moment.
Yeah. David, I'm sure we could like dive into the entrepreneurial mindset that goes all around this, the possibilities that come in. So open invitation to the Content Profit Show to come back anytime to continue to dive into this. And how can people connect with you? How can people, reach out to you? Before that, what is maybe one last thought before we let you go here that we might have missed? Maybe an action point for entrepreneurs. There's so much that we might have missed, but like maybe for like that entrepreneur that is trying to develop their own category, that's going after their ideas that they're really passionate about. What is like one good piece of advice that you might be able to share?
Sure. Go if you're passionate. Only if you're passionate about this. Just go all in on your idea. Don't be afraid. Although there really is the only fear is failing. So you just have to push past that fear and go all in on your passion. And if you're dedicated, then you should find some success in it. But yeah, you can contact me. It's portalhologram.com, PORTL hologram.com. And then I'm just at Portal Hologram across all social.
Oh, wow. So good.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go follow you everywhere. Not in the creepy way, but in the social media way. And I want to follow this journey. You can tell. I've been so excited about the whole interview.
Yeah.
This was definitely...
Put us on the list when you guys start selling the machines for podcasters and video podcasters. So we're right there. Just saying, live interviews everywhere. Dude, David, again, thank you so much for sharing. I encourage everybody listening right now, go connect, go find out a little bit more about this.
Yeah, we're gonna leave all the links at the bottom of the description.
Yep.
So please scroll down, check them out. And I don't know, David, if you have a wait list or something, but if you do, I encourage people to join it.
Got it. Thanks.
Awesome.
It's fun being on your show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right. With that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Content Profit Podcast. Go ahead and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button and follow us on social media at BIZBROS Co.
That is right. And if you find this episode impactful and you can't wait to beam yourself all over the world, please don't forget to share this episode and leave a 5-star review. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.